Chapter 1, One Unknown Beginning. Fuck, what the hell is going on? Asked the spirit lingering in the void with no one to be seen. I have no idea how I came here or who am I, thought the spirit. Just then it heard the sharp-pitched voice and saw a face near it. Are you scared me and tell me what's going on? Screamed the spirit. Silence. I will speak and you will only listen, mortal. I, Lord Chaos, have brought you here in this universe from your previous one for the sake of my entertainment. I had peered into your universe and found that this universe is merely a work of fiction in yours, so I wanted to introduce an anomaly for mine and other beings' fun. So speak now, for I can give you 3 wishes after which you will reincarnate in this universe. Okay, but this all is a lot to take in. Could you first return me my memories? Asked the spirit. Granted. You have 2 wishes left now. Wait, that wasn't a wish. Too late now. What's your next wish? And don't ask for more or unlimited wishes, I can't do that for fair reasons. Okay. Now my second wish is super strange, like Superman. Not happening, can't make my source of fun a broken character. Then I want the power of sentry. Are you sure about it? Cause you will also have to deal with the void. The spirit shudders. Nah, no need for that. So my second wish is instant mastery. Granted, but with certain restrictions. And your third and last. Make me super intelligent. Done, and off you go. Comment. 65 comments. Vote. Chapter 2, Waking Up, metaphorically. I know you are watching. That does not mean I do not have free will, and this is me breaking the 4th wall. With the memories I got of my past, I got to know that my name is Kyle. I was 27-year-old just before I died or got taken away by Lord Chaos. That part of my memory is pretty hazy. I also remembered that I read a lot of light novels in my past, though I was not a dread of the society or a neat. I merely read for fun, and from the novels I had read, most of them were for reincarnation, so I am pretty sure that I am a character in someone's novel, as I don't believe people get the chance to reincarnate in another universe, so I am going to make the most of this chance and will do my best to not affect canon. Yup, you heard me right, I will try not to affect canon for the entertainment of the readers. I will stay away from it. Now I am going to explain the reason for my wishes, except for the first one. That one was unintentional. My wish of instant mastery was so that I could learn anything easily. That's pretty much a cheat, but who doesn't like a bit of cheat? My third wish was for intelligence, cause I believe with enough intelligence you could archive almost everything, like power or even control death. You can take a look at Orochimaru from Naruto. That guy was pretty much an immoral and could bring back people from death almost perfectly under his control. Or you can take a look at Lex Luthor, a normal human with high intelligence who is counted as dangerous of a villain as Doomsday just because of his intelligence. And for those of you who think I should have asked for a system, I can only say that most of the characters with system become broken with time, which I do not want to be, for I like a bit of challenge even though I wished for instant mastery. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Comment whether to reincarnate him on Earth or on Asgard. Comment. 61 comments. Vote. Chapter 3, Waking Up, literally. Anyone hoping to have been reincarnated on Asgard would have wished to have been the son of Odin and brother of Thor, but that didn't happen with me. I was born here as an Aesir. For those who don't know what Aesir are, they are the civilian population of Asgard, the people who live under the protection of Odin and created by him. If you have seen Thor Ragnarok, you could see them as the people who were hiding with Heimdall when Hel, not sure of her name, was on Asgard. Though I don't care much about it. It has been 8 years since I had been here. I have to say I was shocked initially to see people, each of whom could have been a supermodel on the earth I came from, around me and doing normal chores. It didn't take me long to infer that I was in Marvel Universe, cause I saw people shouting Thor 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 and a extremely buff looking Chris Hemsworth walking with his head held high along with the Warrior 3 with him. This moment made me realize that I was in the MCU. I still have the wishes I had asked for. I was highly intelligent as compared to the adults. To check whether I had instant mastery, I did some chopping and found that though it took me a few hits at first and a lesson on wood chopping from my dad Asmund, forgot to introduce him in the start, to became quite adept at it. I was able to figure out where to hit and with how much force to hit the tree instinctively. Though it took me few shoots cause I did not have enough strength yet, cause the trees at Asgard are much stronger than those at Earth. After a few more experiments I found out the restriction of my instant mastery. I need to have certain knowledge of that field. To explain easily I need to know the spells for the magic and the basis behind it to use it. Thought it would take me little effort to learn it and much less mana. Author here, this does not mean he has learned magic right now, it was just an example to explain. So I think what I have is not exactly instant mastery but easier learning and experience boost like in RPG. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. So I made certain changes in CH1 and made his instant mastery have restrictions cause otherwise he would have become quite a broken character as he is now in Asgard, where he would have easily mastered runes, alchemy, magic and other stuff and already become Omega level threat, which is all okie dokie but not what I want. Comment. 39 comments. Vote. Chapter 4, for growing up. Anyone who has instant mastery and is in Asgard would jump at the chance to learn things, but not me. I want to enjoy my childhood and live the fullest. Asgard really is a beautiful place, sucks that people won't be able to enjoy it much cause it gets destroyed in Ragnarok. We live long, not as much as Thor and the royalty, but we live long enough and are considered as children until we reach 100 years of age, after which we are allowed to choose a profession. Asgard doesn't have traditional schools, but we are taught some history and basic maths, no calculus or trigonometry. It figures cause we are given basic understanding of each and every profession we could choose and then taught the higher level stuff, and you don't need to know much of science when you can achieve almost everything with magic. There are different professions, or for RPG fans classes for people here. You could be a warrior, healer, sorcerer, magician, alchemist and many other of your choosing. Before reaching the age of 100 we all are taught basic stances of fighting so we could at least protect ourselves. Needless to say that I was the best in my batch. Our instructor Van Heim was so shocked at me that he said that I was the best talent he had seen. To explain to you all what had happened was that on the first day of our training we are pretty much given the rundown of all the weapons and with time given exercises to do. Now I have to say that the Asgardian body is strong, you could easily run without tiring for breath, and I am only 10 right now. With time my body will only grow. Usually reach their adolescent form by the age of 50, which stays the same till they become old, that is around 2000 years of age. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo wrote this chapter in a hurry and while listening to Dango Daisaku Clannad. You all should listen it too. And the explanation of our characters' look will be probably done in next 2 chapter and we will see more interaction. What are your all thought of making Sif his first love interest? Comment. 29 comments. Vote. Chapter 5, Apprentice. Carl Asmund, come here and don't make me wait, said Asmund. Coming, Pops, said Carl. How many times do I need to tell you to call me father and not Pops or whatever that is, said Asmund. Yeah, okay, said Carl. So how was training today? Asked Asmund. It was good but not much for me to do. I already know everything Van Heim can teach. That's Master Van Heim for you kid, said Asmund. I will probably stop going to Van Heim after tomorrow. Continuing training with him is so longer beneficial. Oh, so much confidence, huh? Come on, let's have a spar, said Asmund, standing up and coming out of the house. Carl nods and follows him out, ready to fight. It has been 2 years since Carl started training under Van Heim and has learned the basic fighting stance of the Asgardian and could hold toe-to-toe with many other kids as well as some of the adults who were not warriors. His competition right now were only the adults who overpowered him with their strength. Coming out, both of them get in the fighting stance. Asmund comes forward with a punch while Carl easily sidesteps to dodge it but is not able to see the knee coming towards his gut. Realizing the knee coming towards him, Carl raises his leg to stop it. Good stop over there, complimented Asmund. Now try stopping these. A barrage of punches come towards me, each one of which I dodge, and after a little more hits back and forth finally found an opening and was able to get Asmund on the ground. I have gotten rusty. Well, you did good kid, come let's go home. I might need to call off tomorrow's work now. And yeah, you can tell Van Heim that you are not coming anymore, said Asmund. After which we went home and applied some medicines on the cuts we got while fighting. Well, I have been growing quite well. I was already 5 feet at 12 years of age with a swimmer's body, not having much muscle. I prefer a lean look, much like Dick Grayson. I even had anime-like blue hair with blue eyes, both complementing each other, which were quite different from Pop's as he had black hair and brown eyes. I had never seen my mom and my father does not tell me anything about her, plus I am not keen to about finding about her. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. My first fight scene, sort of. Need reviews, guys. Is it a good story till now or not? Though I accept it's a bit slow and will remain like it for some while. Comment. 34 comments. Vote. Chapter 6, Apprentice 2. The next day I go to the training ground to find Van Heim talking to a big buffed up dude about 6 feet 7 inches with a missing left hand. As I approach him, he turns his eyes towards me. What a coincidence, Carl, I was going to look for you, said Van Heim. Before he could say something, I interject. Before you try to convince me, Van Heim, I won't be training here any longer. I think I have learnt everything I could here. You are absolutely right, so I asked a favor from my old friend Tyr here to train you, said Van Heim. Van Heim here tells me you learned the basic training style in 2 years, quite impressive, but that style is just for self-defense, nothing comparable to a battle style. So he asked me to train you, so from tomorrow you're training under me, said Tyr. Okay, this was exactly what I wanted. What I needed to do now was to learn advanced stuff in the path of warrior and to be able to fight beings powerful than me. Come here tomorrow, pact. We will be leaving for a few decades. What? A few decades, I screamed. Yes, what did you think, that I am as free as Van Heim, who would wait for you to come here every day and then teach you? No, you will be traveling alongside me and I will teach you all the skills to survive in wilderness and fight, said Tyr. But I can't. Why? I don't have a few decades. What, you going to die in a few years or what? No, but still a decade is too long. On me saying so, both Van Heim and Tyr chuckle. Kid, you are small now, that's why you don't know, but a few decades to us is nothing compared to our lifespan. I completely forgot that Issa lived for long, since I couldn't find any reason to say no, and it would be nice to get some training before the start of canon. I agreed. We are going to start traveling throughout Asgard from tomorrow. I will take you to all the places I can and show you what a place Asgard is, and while you would enjoy that, I will enjoy breaking your bones with the training, said Tyr. Eh? What? You heard me right, boy. From tomorrow you are going to wish you weren't so talented, said Tyr. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. I might probably do a time skip like between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden without going much into details. Any suggestion for any future plot or reviews for the novel are also welcomed. Comment. 19 comments. Vote. Chapter 7, 7 Apprentice 3. Traveling Asgard is best thing I had done in both of my lives. Seriously, this place is so beautiful that it makes me sad that it will get destroyed. Maybe I should change this. Let's leave this thought as a note to myself. Fun fact about Asgard: it has edges and an end. Unlike Earth, if you fall off this edge you will literally fall in void, space, so you have to be careful. Well, training for me was easy as I never did break any bones but at most got tired out. Tyr was shocked and sad at this. I think he was a sadist who liked to inflict pain on others as he kept on increasing my training difficulty with time. Time skip about a decade. In this decade I spent with Tyr, he taught me everything he knew and trained by body. He tried to make me buffed up but now I said no. Though I have six-pack abs and can throw quite a punch, I have a quite athletic body. In this decade I learned a bare-handed fighting style and how to survive in the wild along with some alchemy and a bit of magic. Tyr was shocked to see my talent in magic and alchemy and told me to pursue them later on as he only knew the basics of them as he didn't have big mana pool. Carl, I have taught you everything I know even though I myself can't believe how can someone learn my life experiences in such a small amount of time. For now I have nothing more to teach you. From now you are to travel on your own and gather experience. Though you are quite a good fighter, don't forget that there is always someone better and to reach their level you constantly need to develop. I understand, said Carl. Okay Carl, now I have a question to ask you. Even though I have taught you everything I know, would you acknowledge me as your teacher? Yes sir. I should tell you that I have nothing more to teach you and an Asgardian can only have two formally acknowledged teacher, so still would you become my apprentice and share my burdens? Yes sir, you have taught me a lot and helped make the man I am now. Tyr makes an incision on his hand from which blood pours out. Good, then do you, Carl, son of Asmund, acknowledge me, Tyr Odinson, Asgardian god of war, as your teacher and willingly become my apprentice? Yes I do. Lighting crackers, I make this oath, and Tyr drops his blood on my forehead. And from here on I am Carl Asmund, apprentice to Asgardian god of war. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Comment how many of you knew about Tyr origin from before this revelation. And give reviews and suggestions for the novel. Comment. 35 comments. Vote. Chapter 8, 8 Godhood. Blood of Tyr covers my whole body, forming a cocoon around me. I scream in pain as I feel the changes happening to my body. I am not unconscious inside the cocoon. I feel my muscle contracting, increasing their density, and my body growing. I even try to break the cocoon but couldn't. I see Tyr outside the cocoon laughing at my expense. I swear I am going to punch him when I come out, and after some time I fell asleep. Tyr POV. I don't know whether I did the right thing doing this to him when he is so young, but I think he will be fine. He is quite strong to hold on for a while before falling unconscious. It's been 5 years since the cocoon formed. The kid is a monster. Even Thor slept only for 3 years in the cocoon and he became so strong. Just how much strong is he going to be? POV ends. After God knows how much time my eyes open. I find myself still inside the cocoon but no longer feeling any pain. The cocoon was no longer nurturing my body, so I decided to break it. It broke quite easily now. I come out to see an astounded Tyr. What? You grew quite a bit, kid. I hadn't paid much attention before, but looking at myself now I was 6 feet 4 inches with my body sculpted like a Greek god. You may want to put on some clothes, kid, or are you one of those nudist? Breaking me out of my admiration, I only realize now that I was naked. Tyr passes me some of his clothes, which were a bit big for me. My own clothes were useless as they were too small. So what did you do to me? I made you a god, kid. Don't you feel the raw power coursing through your muscle right now? I do, but how am I not too young to be a god? You are right, a normal person is only made a god after a solid judge of character and after a 1000 years of age. But I thought you were prepared. Even though it could have destroyed your body, but everything worked out fine in the end, didn't it? What the fuck? My body could have been destroyed. Language, kid, you are still not old enough to curse. Licked that. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo, Captain_Nemo. Yeah, so he is a god now. Give me suggestion of what thing you want to make him a god of. As always, reviews and suggestions are welcomed. Comment. 34 comments. Vote. Chapter 9, God of _______. I move forward and punch Tyr, which sends him flying a little distance away. Tyr stands up, wiping the blood from his lips. Nice arm you got there, kid. Oh my god, did I just make Tyr bleed? Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that I never landed a hit on Tyr in our decade of training, but I could never make him bleed. I could land punches and hits on his body before too, but could never send him flying. Just how much powerful have I become? Now hold your horses, kid. You need to train with me for some while to control your strength, otherwise you might just kill somebody with your touch. So am I as powerful as Thor? Tyr chuckles. You wish, kid. Thor already became a god centuries ago and also knows his lighting domain. You right now don't even know what you are god of right now. He is kind of right. If I was as powerful as the other gods right at the start, then all of them would start to cry. But what am I the god of? Tyr, what am I the god of? That's up to you to find out. It depends on what you have an affinity for. I fought a lot of wars for my father and ultimately became the god of war. So you yourself have to find about it, but I can tell you that when you will find your domain, you will become even more powerful. Right now I have only 70% of the power I would have if a war was going and I was on the battlefield. During the times of war, my power increases as my domain strengthens. What he says makes sense. Even Thor in Thor Ragnarok becomes more powerful when lightning flows through him during his fight with Hela. But what could I be a god of? I need to figure it out soon. So what now? I ask Tyr. Now you train and get used to your new strength. And with a smirk on his face, Tyr says, from now on I will use my full strength in our spar and finally hear the sound of your bone breaking. So his sadist mode is back. Well, he would be disappointed just like he was before. Now go on and take some laps around this place to get used to your new speed. Tyr POV. Damn, this kid really is a beast, making me bleed with a single punch after just ascending. I have really gotten a great apprentice. At least I will be leaving Asgard in good hands. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo, Captain_Nemo. Now I have decided to leave what he is a god of for the future, but the ones I am inclined TPR talent, potential or mastery cause, these suit him the best. Any more suggestion for his domain? As always, reviews and suggestions are welcomed. Comment. 64 comments. Vote. Chapter 10, History Lesson. Tyr was training me in ways to utilize my newfound strength and how to incorporate the changes in my body to my fighting style. We both were making our way back to my hometown. Tyr decided that it was time for us to go back. I am 32 right now. It took me 5 more years to master my new strength. One night when we had made camp, Tyr makes me sit near him and tells me about his past. Carl, I am going to tell you about my past and that of Asgard, but I need you to promise me that you would not repeat this before anyone. I promise. good it all began millenniums ago when my grandfather died leaving reigns to my father Odin. When father was young he was a reckless individual and led war among the 9 realms to unite them under him. Odin and his daughter Hela, my sister also known as the goddess of death, engaged in a campaign of conquest, slaughtering those who stood in opposition. Yet once they were subjugated, Hela wished to continue expanding beyond the 9 realms. Growing so violent and aggressive, Odin felt he had no choice but to exile her to a region of Niflheim known as Hell, banishing all mention of this portion of their history. Not many people know about this. I didn't oppose my father at that time, for I thought that the throne will become mine after this, but that thought shattered when Thor was born and grew. He became better than me in everything. Ultimately I became jealous and led fights and rebellion against Odin, but was subjugated every time, and finally I gave up. I no longer pursue the throne, but I still care about the safety of Asgard and will do everything I can to protect it. When I made you my apprentice Carl, I said that you will have to shoulder my burdens, and now I lay my burden unto you. From now on you would have to do everything to protect Asgard and its people. You do not have to pay heed to any order given to you by Odin, just do what you believe would be best for the safety and prosperity of Asgard. Even though I wanted to say that I would try best, I did not want to make fake promises, as I know that Asgard gets destroyed in Ragnarok and lots of its people killed by Thanos, so I remained silent. I don't remember Tyr being present in the MCU when Asgard was destroyed, so something must have had happened to him. I need to find out what did. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. I am quite busy for the rest of the day, so the next chapter might be quite late. Could you all do me a favor and write some reviews on the main page of the novels? They do not need to be good, just your honest opinions. And thanks to everyone for their suggestions. Comment. 19 comments. Vote. Chapter 11, Going Back and the Summon. Ever since that night Tyr and I have been talking less. Maybe he did not like that I never gave him a definite answer. But I couldn't make false promises. It took us a year to get back to my hometown. Tyr then left me to do some things and give me some time with my father. I went home to find my father asleep on a hammock. I let him sleep and go inside the house to find my room just as clean as I left it. He must have been cleaning it. He truly cares and loves me as his son. It's kind of difficult for me to accept him as my father. I already had a loving and caring father in my previous life and I just can't forget him. Sometimes I just can't get used to this world and still think from the perspective of a human. I need to work upon changing my perspective from that of a human to that of a god. The next day Tyr comes to my home to tell me of a summon from All-Father Odin. Apparently once you become a god you need to be presented before Odin to formally take an oath. In this ceremony you are given the option to join his army. But that was not I wanted. My next plan is to go forward and learn magic from the Asgardian before I try to find some way to leave Asgard and travel. Maybe I can request Odin permission for using Bifrost. Tyr, what happens if someone becomes a god and does not tell anyone? Well, that's impossible. Heimdall with his all-seeing eye will immediately find about it as soon as the person begins his ascension and will inform him to come for the ceremony. He would have informed you too, but he saw me next to you so he left it for me. We can't have rogue gods running around, we have rules. So are there any rules imposed upon the gods? Not many, but some. A major rule is that you cannot go on killing people, especially mortals, and have to come forward to fight if there is some major threat to the 9 realms as a whole. Well, no killing mortals is necessary, for with the strength I have I could easily crush them with a punch. But I can't understand the thing about major threat. When Thanos was collecting the Infinity Stones, why did not any god step in? Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Guess what? A teacher was absent, so got a free period to write, though not a very good chapter cause wrote it in a rush. guys do give reviews and suggestions. And does anyone know what the star means next to novel's name in inkstone? Comment. 27 comments. Vote. Chapter 12, 12 Acknowledgement. I can't explain in words how beautiful the palace is. Thor movies didn't show the palace in its true glory. Asgard doesn't have a sun, still there was bright light shining from behind the palace, giving him it a majestic feel. My jaw dropped the first time I saw it. Pick up your jaw, kid, it's even more majestic on the inside. We walk into the ceremony room where I see Odin sitting on his throne with Frigga by his side. Various ministers standing in line along with Thor, Warrior 3, Lady Sif and Loki standing in a corner. There were a lot of civilians too. All with their eyes glued to me. At least the presence of Loki clears my confusion whether Odin has fought with the frost giants. Suddenly there is a yell. You are standing before Odin Borson, the All-Father and Protector of the Nine Realm. Pay your respect. Tyr, who was standing in front of me, bows down to pay his respect and I follow him in doing so. Odin looked at me with such a glare which made me feel like he could see through me. Then Odin declared, Karl Asmund, apprentice of Tyr, the Asgardian god of war, I, Odin Borson, king of Asgard, the protector of Nine Realm, formally proclaim you as a god. Suddenly lighting cracks in the sky and I feel some changes inside me. I had already become a god, but after Odin said it, it felt like even the cosmos acknowledged it. His words acknowledging me as a god was like a confirmation of my status. I already knew about his power of enchanting with his speech. He enchanted them Mjolnir in the movies, so I was not surprised. But I would love to learn it. After this the ceremony of finished. I didn't understand why was there a need for so many people to be there and look at me, but Tyr explained to me that becoming a god was a rare phenomenon and at my age was almost unheard of. Tyr was later called by Odin to his chamber and I was left alone in the palace. Suddenly someone tapped my shoulder and I turned to see Thor and the Warrior 3 along with Sif. Hello friend, we are going for some drinks to celebrate, would you like to come with us? Asked Thor. Sure. How could I say no after taking a look at Sif? She looks exactly like Jamie Alexander, the actress of Blind Spot, for those who do not recognize her. Everything that happens after that is a blur. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Thanks everyone for their support and great comments for this novel. Thor of now is going to be brash and reckless like he was at the start of Thor. I would love it if you all could write some reviews on the main page of the novel, please. Comment. 25 comments. Vote. Chapter 13, 13 Hungover. In Odin's chamber room. Tyr POV. Father, did you call for me? Yes, I did. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts about the boy? Driven, monstrously talented and smart. Why did he catch your eye? He did, becoming a god at such a young age. Would he be joining the army just like you did? No, I already asked him about it and he told me that he has no interest in joining the army. Pity, he would have helped Asgard in maintaining peace. Is there anything more, father? Go gift the kid a golden apple of Idun for achieving godhood at such a small age. Thank you, father. This gift would definitely help him. POV ends. Tyr leaves the room, leaving Odin in thoughts about why the body isn't bound by the strings of fate. Karl POV. I open my eyes to find myself sleeping on the stands of a big gladiator arena covered with blood and a nasty headache. You are finally awake, said Volstagg. What happened yesterday? You don't remember? I remember us leaving for drinks. What happened after that? Oh boy, first time drinking, huh? Yeah. We drank then danced, after which you started challenging Thor to a fight that got a nice round of laugh from everyone. Thor, amused by it, brought all of us here in Gladiator Arena so that you could have a match. No, I made a fool of myself the day I stood before Odin. Great, at least tell me I won. Volstagg laughing. Are you still hungover, or did you hit your head too hard last night? Of course you lost. A kid like you who hasn't even grown hair thinking about defeating Thor. It's like saying that Asgard will be destroyed. Oh, it will, and I will defeat Thor someday soon. You dance good though, teach us to dance too someday. A lot of maiden had their eyes on you last night, said Fandral. Maybe someday. Looks like I carried over my moves from my previous life. Where's Thor and Sif? Thor left for the palace a while ago, and Sif left the moment you asked her for a dance, Volstagg said, bringing a chuckle out of the rest two of them. Great, my first impression on Sif is that of a kid who couldn't even hold his liquor. After some time I bid the warrior 3 goodbye and went home to take a bath. I stink with all the blood over me. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Uploaded the chapter after making a change. Just want to make it clear that Carl has morals but is not afraid to kill. Reviews and suggestions are welcomed. Do give reviews on main page of the novel. Comment. 24 comments. Vote. Chapter 14, Odin's Vault. In the evening Tyr came to my home and told me about how I had already become famous amongst the masses as the idiot who challenged Thor. He then took me with him to get the golden apple of Idun from the treasury of Asgard as a reward by Odin for becoming a god at such young age. I was happy to hear that, cause I was just thinking that Odin is such a big cheapskate not gifting me anything on becoming a god. For those who don't know, golden apple of Idun are grown on a tree by goddess Idun, thus their name, and provide one with vigor, vitality and immortality, only increases lifespan. You could still die if your head is cut off. The apples are a good reward for me as my strength was already close to that of the royal Asgardians, but my lifespan fell short. Maybe Odin thought of this and gifted it to me. Who knows what goes on in his mind. We then went to get the palace, as the palace contained the treasury. Quite a good decision, for if someone tries to steal anything they would have to come directly to your house as they did in Thor: The Dark World. I have got to say that Odin's rich. A step into his treasury and I see a number of things. First of all is gold, lots and lots of it. We then moved on to the inner area, which housed the important stuff like the casket of ancient winter, the eternal flame, and most importantly the fake infinity gauntlet. My eyes were glued onto all of these stuff. Tyr seeing that explained me their history. The casket of ancient winter was brought by Odin after defeating the frost giant of Jotunheim. The eternal flame was also brought by Odin after taking it from the fire demon Searcher, and as for the gauntlet, he didn't know anything about it, not even its name. I am pretty sure that it was a plot hole left in the story which they tried to fix by making Hela say that it was a fake. Continuing inwards, I was brought to the place where my reward was kept. Tyr handed it out to me and said, "Eat it." No shit, Sherlock, I was thinking I had to throw it. I immediately consumed it. It was juicy, though I can't explain the taste, it just can't be explained through words. I fell asleep after consuming it. Tyr had already told me that after eating the apple I would probably sleep like a log for a few days. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. So now he is on par with the Royal Asgardians, and it only took him about 10 chaps for it. I am thinking about taking him to learn magic formally. He already knows some magic from Tyr but is not adept at it. The proper MCU timeline should be kicking in a few chapters after he learns magic, for those who are waiting for it. Do add reviews to the novel's main page. Suggestions and reviews are always welcomed. Comment. 20 comments. Vote. Chapter 15, Who? 3 days later I woke up to find myself in my bed. Tyr must have brought me home. To see if I had a visible change I stood before a mirror. Though I couldn't see much of a difference my skin did feel more softer and brighter than before. It may come of as narcissist but I do look good. I slap myself to break me from my revere. Then I sat down to think and plan about what I am going to do. I have to learn things for now I am already good at hand-to-hand combat and weapons even though I don't have a personal weapon like Thor or the Warrior 3. So I have two paths for now. Either I could go and learn magic, well to be precise Asgardian magic. I still don't have a way to get to Earth so can't learn magic from there for now. Or I could go and learn forging from the dwarfs and make my own weapon which would be much better and cooler than Mjolnir. So to find a way to do either I went to see Tyr. I easily found Tyr near the training ground doing meditation. Good morning Tyr. Morning kid, so why come to see me? Do I need to have a reason to see you? Have you come to meet me without any reason to? Well, you do have a point. Since I am free for now I have thought to branch out into more fields so I have come to you for advice. Sure kid, what do you want to learn? I might not know that thing but I could surely point you towards the right person to teach you. I want to learn either magic or forging. Forging is out of the question. Dwarfs are the best at forging but they do not share their techniques with outsiders, well not until father asked them to, so forget that. Though you could go for sorcery you were able to learn what little I knew of it quite easily. So what do you say, do you want to learn magic? Since I can't learn forging then magic it is, so who do you think I should go to? Well, if you ask me then the most powerful and knowledgeable magician is my father Odin, but I am pretty sure that he does not have any time to teach you, so you gotta settle for the next best person. Who? Tyr starts walking without answering my question. Well, come with me, don't keep standing there, we are going to meet a person who could take us to her and maybe increase your chances of getting under her tutelage. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Well, this chapter came out right now cause I could not sleep and thought to use my time. Guess and tell in the comments who is she. Anyone up for making a cover for the move cause my art skill are garbage. And do write reviews on the main page of the novel. Comment. 27 comments. Vote. Chapter 16 Who? 2. Tyr didn't budge and told me nothing as we made our way towards the palace. I made a mental list of the people who could be my instructor. 1 Frigga, but I don't think Tyr can convince his mother and the Queen of Asgard to teach me. 2 Loki, not possible. 2 Loki is great at using magic but his magic leans more towards self-defenses and not attack. 3. Enchantress Amora, but why would she teach me when she could easily make me her muscle-ahead slave with her words? I couldn't think of anyone else who could be my teacher. We suddenly reached a room in the palace. Tyr knocked on the door. Come in, a deep heavy voice spoke. Hello brother, said Ty. I couldn't believe who I was looking at. Questions went through my mind of how could he be here cause this guy wasn't ever shown or even mentioned in the MCU. The person who stood before me was Balder, the bold Asgardian god of light. Hello, so why are you here? Well, you should be knowing about Karl. That idiot young god who challenged Thor, I know about him. Balder said, chuckling. Yup, that's me. I still can't understand why does everyone find it so amusing. Did no one ever challenged Thor at anything? Hey kid, you really know how to become famous. Tyr and I had to fought a lot of battles before we became famous. Are you sure you are not the god of jest? Asked Tyr, laughing along with Balder. Tyr, I think we are straying from the topic. Did we come here for something other than just meeting my brother? Oh, so he wanted me to be the one to say it, huh? Well, Baldur TYR told me that you could introduce me to a good magic teacher. Did he say that? Baldur asked, glaring at TYR with daggers in his eyes. Well, you do know her and she would only teach him if you ask her to. TYR explained. You are right, but why should I? No offense, kid, but I never had met with you before. Then what do you need? Any favor or help? As long as I can do it, I will. Kid, what can you help me with? You can't even help yourself right now. But I could think about taking you to her if we have a spa. Why don't you directly say that you want to bully me? It's not like that, kid, just want to see how talented you were to make TYR take you as apprentice. Well then let's go, said TYR. Why do I think TYR had already planned for this to happen? Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Guys, we need reviews on main page, please take out some time. And keep on guessing, she is not one of the 3 I wrote in the chapter. And honest to God, how many of you thought it was Loki when TYR said hello brother? Comment. 13 comments. Vote. Chapter 17 fight. When we reached the arena, it was filled with people. How the hell do they know about this? After asking around, I found that somehow the news spread that I had challenged Baldur to a spa. Great, I also got to know that I had become famous as the foolish god. But this time I am going to win. When I fought with Thor I was hammered, but this time I am going to be in control. Reaching the center of the arena, I asked Baldur, so how's it going to be with or without weapons? I don't see a weapon on you, kid, so let's go with hand-to-hand combat. Good, exactly what I wanted. I still hadn't trained much in a weapon, but I was confident in my skills with my hand. ITYR Odinson is going to be the referee for this match. Let me go over the rules. No fatal blows, no weapons, and the match ends when someone either falls unconscious or gives up. Is everyone clear? Yes. Yes. Baldur and I stood a few feet away from each other. He was eyeing me like I was his prey, but I am going to prove him wrong. TYR shouts at the top of his voice. Begin. Baldur immediately runs towards me with his big body. I don't understand, what is this Asgardian's obsession with muscle? Almost all of them have a big stature and buffed up muscle. Though this gives them power but not enough agility. Whereas I had leaned towards more of an athletic build, though I had muscles yet my agility was high. I easily evaded most of his attack. His fighting style was mostly a barbaric one, but he was able to find openings in my movement. Maybe this was due to his experience in battlefield, a thing I sorely lacked. One of my punch landed on him, pushing him back a few steps. I could hear the audience screaming and shocked. Good punch, kid, but it's not gonna happen again, said Baldur, puffing. We exchanged more blows, with me slowly landing more punches on him. With time I felt that his movements had gotten slower and I knew that I was overpowering him. And then with a solid punch to his chest I sent Baldur flying and hitting the wall of the arena. Silence ensued in the arena with people shocked at this feat. Baldur stood up after a few seconds and declared his defeat. TYR, what are you feeding that kid? It's not me, it's the kid himself. Well, kid, meet me a week later and pack your stuff, we will be leaving for a while. Baldur left and I too escaped the arena with TYR as I had seen audience member coming towards me shouting my name. At least this fight would lessen the damage done to my reputation by the fight with Thor. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Took me a while to picture and write the fight scene. Guys, do write reviews on the main page of novel. Comment. 18 comments. Vote. Chapter 18, Growth and Meeting Sif. 2 days have passed since I fought and defeated Balder. But I still can't figure out why did I felt Balder slow down. So to get my answer I found Tyr. Hey Tyr. Hey kid, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be getting ready for your trip? What can I be ready for? I don't even know where I am going, but I have a question to ask you. Okay, go on. When I was fighting Balder and as we kept on fighting I felt Balder get slow even though his moves still had the same intensity as before. I can't understand why was it like that. Well, that's easy kid, your body is still get used to your powers. You haven't been a god for too long. Your power will grow each and every day till it reaches the peak you can have without finding your domain. When you were fighting Balder you started exerting more and more of your power. You were using the previously untapped power, so when you felt Balder getting slower it actually was your perception of his movement becoming faster. So it was like that. I left after talking with Tyr for a while. I didn't have much to do, so I went to a tavern to have a few drink and clear my mind. Passing through the crowded marketplaces and listening to people talking I picked up that at least my reputation had gotten better. Though I was still called a fool for fighting Thor, people still referred to me as a strong fool for defeating Balder in the fight. Apparently you get a lot of people's eyes on you if you enter a tavern alone in Asgard. Asgardian are usually cheerful and friendly people, so to see someone alone is a strange sight. Though I am fine alone, I noticed that I hadn't made any close friend in my time here in Asgard. I had talked the most with Tyr and Asmund, one being my teacher and the other my father. I sat in a corner drinking something I didn't even knew the name of. Soon I saw Thor, Warrior 3 and of course Sif following them come in. Thor, being as boisterous as he is, starts talking about his adventures, mainly that of having fought and defeated a lot of people, and even inserts my name into it while pointing at me. Listening to him made me think of why didn't Odin send him to Earth before Thor went to Jotunheim. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved Thor's character later on in the movies, but right now he is a cocky, arrogant bastard. I saw Sif sitting on a seat looking at Thor with smitten eyes. I know that she is love with Thor, who ignores her completely. Still, I am going to try my chance. Thinking so, I approached her. Hello, I am Carl. Hey Sif. I don't think we were formally introduced before. We were. You were too drunk to speak and wanted to have a dance with me and I didn't. Water under the bridge. I talked with Sif for a while, but she was not interested in the conversation and kept glancing at Thor. I took that as a sign and bid her farewell. I will try another chance at her when Thor brings Jane here, maybe then I would have a shot. Creators' thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Need more reviews. Comment. 38 comments. Vote. Chapter 19. Traveling to ________. Few days later I met Balder preparing his horse. You ready for the journey? Yes, but are we going by horses? Yes. I had to go to the stable and get an horse for myself. We then continued onwards on our journey. Balder is not exactly a talker like Tyr, but he does give all the needed information when asked. So where are we going? Did Tyr not tell you? No, he did not tell me anything about where we are going and who will be teaching me. Tyr is like that, he likes to keep things a surprise. We are going to Nornheim. Nornheim. I could not remember any information about it. So I asked Balder about it. So what kind of a place is Nornheim? Nornheim is located on the Asgardian landmass, but it is independently ruled by the Queen of Norns, Canilla, who could be your teacher if she accepts you. I found the name somewhat familiar but couldn't remember anything about her. Can you tell me about her? Well, Canilla is a powerful sorceress, some say only second to father himself. She is a just ruler but harsh, who is not afraid to give strict punishment. She doesn't like Asgard much and maintains that Nornheim is not a part of Asgard and has fought against us sometimes. If she fights against us, then why would she teach me? Sigh. That's where I come in. Tyr is really smart, I have to say that. Canilla sort of likes me and would probably listen to me. Oh, quite evil of you, Tyr, to make use of love, but I need to learn magic, so sorry, Balder. So do you like her too? Kid, shouldn't you not be asking me this? You don't know anything about me, still asking such personal questions. Well, he is right, I didn't even know him some days ago. Sorry. I can see that you are curious, kid, and would probably ask Tyr about it later on, so let me tell you a story. Long time ago I fell in love with a girl named Nana. She later killed herself to save me from an oath. I am sorry. I didn't know that Balder had such a sad backstory. Do you know who she was saving me from, who placed that oath? Who? Canilla. Silence ensued. I mean, I couldn't understand how he was okay with taking me to Canilla, but I can't put salt on his wound. Let's go back, I will learn sorcery from someone else. I protested. Calm down, kid, she got my forgiveness a long time ago when she helped Asgard. You are really okay with it? Yes, kid, though thanks for your concern. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Need more reviews on main page of novel, guys. I would like to thank user dogtooth_Katakuri. He reminded me of Balder, which gave me the idea of using Canilla in the story. Comment. 16 comments. Vote. Chapter 20, Canilla. Balder and I traveled on the horse for a month. He is a good company for travel. He was impressed with the way I handled myself in the wild. Finally we reached a cliff. Balder took a few steps forward and shouted, Balder Odinson is here to meet Canilla, the queen of the Norns. Suddenly the ground starts shaking like an earthquake and a passageway rises up from the bottom of the cliff. Light shines from the end of the passage. Balder starts to move forward and I follow behind him. We finally reached a gate, whereupon I see demons of different shapes. Bardal in our travel had told me that Nornheim population consist of demons as well as humanoid immortals. We were then led through passageway to a central throne room. Sitting in front of me was Canilla. She had long black curly hairs with a big crown on her head. She was wearing some sort of an armor which was blue in color. Just want to tell you all that people do not wear skimpy clothes in reality as they did in the comics. Those type of clothes aren't practical for combat. Oh, what a pleasure to see you here today, Balder. Finally started to miss me? Asked Canilla in a seductive tone. I don't know what happened, but I started to feel a headache and a buzzing sound until Balder put his hand on my shoulder. Stop using your magic on the kid, Canilla said. Balder. You are no fun, Balder. We don't need a third wheel between us, do we? Said Canilla, and then looked at me and said, Kid, why don't you go outside and let the adult do the talking? Those words didn't feel like a request, they were like an order, and my legs were going to move when Balder increased his arm's strength, which was on my shoulder. I am not here for this unnecessary banter, Canilla. You owe me a favor and I am here to ask for it, said Balder. Fine, what do you want, Balder? I want you to teach the kid magic. Who this kid? Magic is not a joke, Balder. You of all people should know that. It requires talent. Otherwise everyone would be learning it. Give the kid a chance and he might just surprise you. Fine. Canilla conjures a stone out of thin air and throws it at me. Pour your mana in it and then we will see. Then with a smirk she says, at least I hope you know how to channel mana. Oh, I am so going to love wiping the smirk off her face. As I channel my mana through the stone, it started to. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo, Captain_Nemo. Cliff Kun cause my phone ran out of battery. As always, reviews are welcomed. Comment. 24 comments. Vote. Chapter 21, 21 White. As I channel my mana through the stone, it started to glow white. I literally had no idea what it meant, but maybe Canilla didn't know to cause her eyebrow shoot up too along with Balder's. White ha. Said Canilla, intrigued. Now that we are done with it, would you teach him magic? Asked Balder. Balder, you know I already had an apprentice long ago but had to kick her out due to her breaking the code of conduct of magic I had set and lusting for more power. So I can never take him as an apprentice, so what's in it for me since I can't pass of my legacy to him, then? She looks at me. Tell me, kid, why should I teach you magic? This time Balder didn't come to my aid. I knew that this was my time to talk to her. This was the moment I had to either go big or go back with Balder. I promised that you would be known throughout the 9 realms as the teacher of the best sorcerer. Canilla starts to laugh. You think you could be the best? Good. From tomorrow we are going to start your training, and if you fail I will kill you. Now tell me, do you still want to learn magic from me? I am not afraid of death. In thoughts I meant that literally, really want to see how does Mistress Death look in MCU. So let's start from tomorrow. Good then. Now get out, I am going to talk with Balder. Hard take. Carl. Right, Carl to his chambers. Suddenly an older woman teleports herself near me and takes me with her. First thing I am teaching him is magic resistance, otherwise any beginner magician is going to kill him. So Balder, is he your apprentice? No, but why do you think he has a teacher? Oh please, the boy is too much of a talent to have not been roped in by you all. He is an apprentice to Tyr. Tyr took an apprentice. Now I do believe that people can change. And as for the favor, you can still keep it. Teaching this boy is definitely going to pass off my boredom of the past century. What does white light mean in terms of talent? I have never heard of it before. Even I don't know, and I can bet that even Odin doesn't. There hasn't ever been a case of white light. That's why I am interested in teaching him to know how far can he go. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo, Captain_Nemo. Now let's guess who was her apprentice, though I think it would be an easy one. Anyone up for making cover for the novel? One more thing, I am thinking of his magic relying on drawing energies from different dimensions, so need suggestions for dimension name which would suit his personality and anything other than chaos, cause I am thinking of using it. Need review and suggestions. Comment. 42 comments. Vote. Chapter 22, 22 Working of Magic. My first day of magic training didn't start with a flashy spell or something, but instead a lesson of what it is and how it works. Magic is divided into 3 different categories: personal energies, universal energies and dimensional energies. Personal energy is when a person uses his life force for magic. It shortens your lifespan in exchange of power. Universal energy is the energy of the universe in which you are, which you can tap into with sufficient training. It is powerful but not at the scale of dimensional energy. Dimensional energy is the most powerful one. You can use it if you have an affinity towards a particular deity's dimension. For example, Vishanti usually grant their powers to the primitive sorcerer of Midgard. Odin derives his power from the Odin force. Similarly, you will find a dimension for yourself in time if you have an affinity. If you want to be a powerful sorcerer, you need to always have confidence in yourself, otherwise your magic starts to lack in power, and believe that anything is possible, for you can only wield magic properly if you keep an open mind. This actually felt quite right to me, as Strange became quite a powerful magician so quickly. When he started to believe that magic was real, he was already confident about himself, and the Ancient One only had to break his mold about science. Each and every person's body is different, as such they have different, what I like to call mana limit. Mana limit is the amount of mana a person can store in his body without bursting. Each and every spell take a certain amount of mana depending upon your mastery and the extent of the power of the spell. Mana differs on its basis. For those who use personal energy, the mana is their life force. For those who use universal energy, mana is the essence of that universe they are in and is all around them. Mana limit applies for the dimensional energy. Dimensional energy is in another dimension, so there are only two ways to use them: either to call forth that energy at the time of spell usage, this adds time to the casting of spell as you have to call for the energy, or you could use your body as a vessel to store this energy beforehand. This reduces the casting time and increases the power of the spell as the energy of that dimension becomes a part of you when it's within you, thus becoming easier to manipulate. And this is where mana limit is important. For an idiot who wants large amount of power would usually try to store more dimensional energy in his body than his mana limit, hence blowing himself up. So keep in mind your mana limit. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Took me a time to think of how magic is going to work. Give suggestions of name for his dimension to draw energy from. Wrote this chapter just before going to sleep, so if there any problem or loophole, put it in the comment and I will look at it tomorrow. Good night. Comment. 45 comments. Vote. Chapter 23, Training in Magic. Training in magic is difficult even for me, it took a while. Canilla is a tough teacher who would occasionally hit me with a spell if I made some mistake. And so a decade passed. In this time I finally had mastered Asgardian magic and use of universal energy for my magic. I wanted to learn how to connect to a dimension, but Canilla opposed it for now. She had a fixed curriculum which she did not break. I had read through all the books in Canilla's library. My intelligence played a big part here, cause I was able to understand and learn most of the things written in them. One thing I noticed was that in Doctor Strange the ritual for drawing power from the dark dimension, which was written in Book of Cagliostro, is much more crude form of the ritual for finding the dimension of your affinity, and it also had a fixed coordinate in it which was of the dark dimension. Normally if you perform the ritual for using dimensional energy, you do not keep a particular coordinate but let yourself free to be pulled by your affinity. In this decade if I ever got frustrated and said I was too slow, then Canilla would look at me as if she wanted to kill me. She had already told me that I had learned what would take normally millenniums for an average magician and even a few centuries for the most talented in a decade. Well, what can I do if I am so talented? Narcissist much. Canilla had a high mana limit, being able to store large amount of mana, which stands to show just how powerful she was. Still she was shocked when she checked my mana limit. My mana limit was low. First time Canilla checked it, she did not believe it and thought she had failed to perform the spell, a feat that hadn't happened in a few millenniums to her. When she finally checked my limit, she told me that I had quite a small mana limit. This did come off a shock to me. I had great control over mana and thought that with high magic limit I would be able to do any spell I want. Canilla was a bit disappointed too. She tried to console me, saying that many Asgardian had low mana limit, a thing she thinks balanced their existence as they were already too powerful. Don't know why, but I thought of myself as Kakashi with his Sharingan, great control and knowledge but pitiful reserves, even though his were mostly taken by the Sharingan, which didn't do justice to us. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. I know Kakashi had good reserves before he got the Sharingan, but still wanted to make reference to him here. As always, reviews and suggestions are welcomed. Comment. 19 comments. Vote. Chapter 24, 24 Dimension. My mana limit being less did come out as a bummer. I had learned teleportation from Canilla, and if I had high reserves I could have probably teleported myself to Earth. It would have been so much fun to have gone to Earth and enjoy everything from the first-hand perspective. Today Canilla took me to a room beneath her tower and told that today I would be finally looking for my dimensional affinity and if possible connect with it. The room looked old with a big magic runic circle laid out in its floor. My teacher brought me here when I had mastered my magic to look for my dimensional affinity. Now I bring you here so that you can find yours. Carl, you are not my apprentice, so you won't be able to carry on my legacy, but if someday you take in an apprentice you can bring them here when it is the time. Canilla makes me sit in the center of the circle and leaves me alone. Okay, so what I need to do now is channel in the mana in the circle and let myself go. Deep breaths. I closed my eyes and channeled my mana into the circle and waited for something to happen. For some time nothing happened, so I opened my eyes thinking I had failed, but was shocked to see myself in a white room and a black being in front of me. How long have I been here for? I asked that being. For a while now. You had your eyes closed, so I thought not to disturb you. Great, I had already succeeded but didn't know. I am Carl Asmund and I am looking for a dimension to connect with. Can I know who you are? Me, well, I don't have a name. Okay, well, could you tell me about this dimension? I think you are mistaken. This is not a dimension but a universe. My universe. What the hell? I connected to a universe instead of a dimension. Oh shit. Could you take me to your head or someone elder who can answer my questions? There is no one here except for me and you. I am this universe and this universe is me. You are the first person I have ever met. Man, what a loner. Focus, Carl. So can you tell me what is this universe called? Well, considering the magic on you, I know that this place is far beyond your universe, so let's just call it Beyond Realm. Wouldn't you be the Beyonder then? I did say that without thinking, but as I did say it, alarm bells started ringing in my head, comprehending what I had just said and what implications it can have. Beyonder, it's got a nice ring to it, said the being with fascination in his eyes. Creator's thoughts. Captain_Nemo. Captain_Nemo. Wanted to write name at the end as the chapter name but didn't, cause it acts as a spoiler itself. The real title of this chapter is Beyonder. The thought of using Beyonder just struck me and I couldn't get out of my mind, so I used it. How many of you first heard of Beyonder from Spider-Man the animated series? Cause I first saw him there. Comment. 23 comments. Vote. Chapter 25, 25 Beyonder. Oh my god, did I just meet the Beyonder? Are you really the Beyonder? Are there any other Beyonder you know? He asked with a longing in his eyes. No, I confused you with someone else. Can't let him know about what I know about him if he really is Beyonder. Okay. What do I know about Beyonder? He is stupidly powerful, was a universe itself and wanted to experience human life. But this version of him is acting like a child. Let's try to bait him. Would you like to be my friend? Friend? What is a friend? How would he know about friends? He is a loner. A friend is a person who helps and care for you and has fun along with you. Oh, and you would like to be friends with me? Yes, I am Carl. Will you be my friend? I have a friend now. You told me that you wanted to connect with a dimension. Yes. Why? So that I could use its energy to use more powerful magic and become more powerful. You want to become powerful? Yes, I want to stand side by side you in powers. You are weak. Saying so, he puts his hand on my head and pushes it in. One thing to note here is that I am in an astral form like the one shown in Doctor Strange, so he did not create a hole in my head. Light shines and blinds me for a moment. There, you won't be so weak anymore. Thanks, I guess, but what did he do? My form starts to break, so I am being pulled back to my universe. I can't stay here any longer. Hope to see you again, and my figure vanished. Friend gone. I found myself back in the circle below. This should not have happened. The ritual should have kept me in the dimension for as long as I wanted. Maybe it was because I connected to a universe that its power ran out. In the first place, me connecting to a universe is already weird. Now how am I going to explain to Canilla about not having connected to a dimension? Well, no harm done. I already had smaller reserves, so I couldn't have used too powerful of a magic. I prepared to teleport myself to Canilla, but I noticed that my body no longer had a mana limit. It didn't even have a drop of mana in it. What the hell did Beyonder do to me?